On July 23, 2023, the CTA began reconstruction of the Forest Park branch of the Blue Line. This is a project that has interested me for a while, even since before the project was announced. Unfortunately, as luck would have it, the project was announced and started while I was away from Chicago for the summer. So, by the time this video comes out, it will likely have been about 3 weeks since the project even started. In fact, on the day that I sit down to start editing this video, which will be at least one day before it actually comes out, the CTA announced on social media that the current phase of the construction project will come to an end this weekend. So it may even be that this video will come out only a few days before it becomes irrelevant. So this video may not be the most helpful for actually getting important travel information out, but at least it should serve as a good record of what's happening in the project and for a little more information that you may not know. The Forest Park branch of the Blue Line, as we know it today, opened on June 22nd, 1958. The opening of the CTA line coincided with the opening of what is today known as the Eisenhower Expressway. The line was really the first of its type as a rapid transit line to run in the median of an expressway. It was also among the first branches to be designed by the CTA itself as opposed to its predecessors, when it was apparent that the days of profitable private railways that made attractive stations for passenger enjoyment were over. The new cost-efficient strategies of the CTA are evident in the stations one sees along the line. The stations are widely spaced and long ramps lead up to streets on either side. And the head houses at each station are generally pretty minimal. The CTA was proud of its new showpiece line nonetheless, and its first-of-a-kind style. However, in recent years, the line has begun to fall into disrepair. The line is now over 60 years old, and much has changed over the years. When the line opened, it was the Congress branch of the West-Northwest line, running in the median of I-90, which was named the Congress Expressway. Nowadays, it is the Forest Park branch of the Blue Line, running the median of I-290, which is named the Eisenhower Expressway. Despite all of these name changes, however, the infrastructure itself has barely changed. Just about the only thing of note that has happened is the opening of Cosner Station in 1962, only to have it be abandoned in 1973 alongside Central and California stations. Aside from numerous slow zones, the situation is so bad that the CTA refrained from assigning 5000 series cars to the line due to the heavy weight of these cars. When 5000 series cars from the Pink Line do run on this line, they avoid the Forest Park branch. The branch has not seen any sort of major overhaul since its opening in the 50s, while nearly every other branch in the network has. The Green Line was rebuilt in the mid-1990s. The Pink Line in the early 2000s. And the Milwaukee Avenue section of the Blue Line in the 2010s. The Howard branch of the Red Line is currently undergoing reconstruction, as I discussed in my last video. Other newer branches have even received some rehab work. The Dan Ryan branch of the Red Line was built in 1968 and rehabbed over the course of 2 projects, one in the mid-2000s and one in 2013. The Kennedy branch of the Blue Line opened in 1970 and was also rehabbed in the 2010s as part of the Your New Blue project. The Orange Line hasn't seen any reconstruction projects, but this line was only built in the 1990s, so the infrastructure is still relatively new. But renovations are finally coming to the Forest Park branch. So between these renovations and the 7000 series trains beginning to roll onto the Blue Line, ride quality on the branch should be increasing dramatically in the near future. So let's talk about all the work being done on the Forest Park branch and all the service impacts you can expect to see during the project. The project is currently in Part A of Phase 1. This covers the relatively short section of the line from Illinois Medical District to LaSalle. Passengers who travel only between Forest Park and Illinois Medical District, or only between O'Hare and LaSalle, will likely see little change to their trips. The section of the line between Illinois Medical District and LaSalle is closed for reconstruction, including Racine, UIC Halstead, and Clinton stations. Southbound trains from O'Hare are terminating at LaSalle Street. Passengers wishing to travel beyond LaSalle must get off the train at Jackson, one stop to the north.
This is Jackson. Transfer to Red Line trains at Jackson.
Getting off here, you want to take a right and head up this escalator to the Jackson-Van Buren mezzanine. At the top of this escalator, you'll take a left here following these handy signs and exit the turnstiles. The first thing you'll see here is this handy escalator, which you might be tempted to take directly up to the street level. While this will still get you there, of course, I found it easier to turn around and take this staircase here up to Dearborn Street. Free shuttle buses board here on Dearborn Street to allow passengers to complete their journeys. Depending on the time of day, how many buses the CTA is choosing to run at one time, and traffic, and many other situations, boarding can take up the entire block sometimes between Jackson and Van Buren. While the escalator does come out in this area as well, it tends to be towards the back of this block, and there may not be buses near this end, whereas the staircase comes out right in the middle, and it'll be very easy to find where you need to go to get on the next available bus. Service seems to be run with a mixture of 7900 series Nova buses and 4300 series New Flyer articulated buses. As I mentioned earlier, several buses are generally run at once to try and match the capacity of a train. However, there are many friendly staff members here at the station who make it easy to help you find which bus you need to be getting on. And most of the time, it doesn't matter much because all of these Blue Line shuttle buses will be headed the same place. Passengers who need a step-free transfer to the shuttle buses from Jackson Station should instead turn left getting off the train and take this elevator here to the Adams-Jackson mezzanine. You can exit through the accessible fare gate here and make a left, where another elevator gives access up to the street level, from which point you're just a short walk away from the shuttle bus boarding point. These free shuttle buses transport passengers to Illinois Medical District, stopping at several points along the way to serve the missed stations. The bus delivers passengers to the Ogden entrance of Illinois Medical District, from where passengers can re-enter through the turnstiles and take either this elevator or this staircase down to the platform level and resume travel on a Blue Line train from Illinois Medical District to Forest Park and intermediate destinations. Note that all trains are arriving and departing from the extreme western end of the platform at Illinois Medical District. This is going to be easily reached from the Damon Avenue entrance, but any passengers coming from the Paulina entrance or from the shuttle buses at Ogden will need to do this odd turn back and walk all the way across the platform down to where the trains are actually stopping. And of course, this shuttle bus process is reversed in the opposite direction, with inbound trains from Forest Park terminating at Illinois Medical District and shuttle buses running from the Ogden entrance back to Jackson. Shuttle buses return passengers here on Jackson, just across Dearborn Street from the station entrance where the westbound shuttles depart. There is also an express shuttle bus which runs eastbound only from Illinois Medical District to Jackson in the morning rush hour, and westbound only from Jackson to Illinois Medical District in the evening rush hour. Let's take a look at each of the stations in the affected area. Here at Clinton Station, these signs have been placed across the staircases at each entrance to the station. Each staircase is also gated at the bottom to prevent trespassing on the under construction station. Shuttle buses towards Illinois Medical District for continuing service towards Forest Park stop at the corner of Clinton and Congress, right here outside the station entrance on the west side of Clinton Street. From here on, I'm going to refer to these as westbound shuttle buses, even though the Blue Line technically is considered to be running southbound here. Shuttle buses towards Jackson for continuing service towards O'Hare stop at the corner of Jefferson Street and Tilden Street, about a 1-minute walk west of Clinton Station. Again, I'm going to refer to these buses as eastbound buses, even though they serve the Blue Line going northbound. The number 37 Sedgwick Street bus continues to make its normal stop and layover at Clinton Station. The Halsted entrance to UIC Halsted Station has been locked, with caution tape and informational signs installed in front. Shuttle buses stop on Harrison Street, just west of Halsted, about a 2-minute walk from the Halsted entrance. The situation is much the same here at the Peoria Street entrance. This entrance, however, is not served by shuttle buses. Options for passengers include a brief walk down here to the 900 West Harrison bus stop, which is directly served by the number 7 Harrison bus and the number 60 Blue Island and 26th bus. Alternatively, passengers can walk to the shuttle bus stop at Halsted, around a 3.5-minute walk to the east, or to the shuttle stop at Morgan, around a 3-minute walk to the west. The Morgan Street entrance to UIC Halsted is similarly closed. Buses stop on Harrison Street immediately before crossing Morgan in the direction of travel. The stop is about a 2-minute walk from the station entrance. The Racine Avenue entrance to Racine Station has seen probably the most dramatic transformation. In fact, it has disappeared entirely. This slight discontinuity in the chain-link fence and the overpass is the only indication of where it was. This is due to the more extensive reconstruction that is occurring at Racine Station, where the entire station is being rebuilt to improve accessibility. Shuttles stop on Harrison Street, just west of Racine, about a 2.5 to 3-minute walk from the Racine entrance. The Loomis Street entrance to Racine Station is still there, locked and roped off, much like the entrances to UIC Halsted. Shuttles stop on Harrison Street immediately after crossing Loomis in the direction of travel. The eastbound stop is about a 2-minute walk from the station entrance. Unfortunately, this construction in the northwest corner of the intersection makes it very difficult to access the westbound shuttle stop. By crossing the south side of Harrison Street and coming over and crossing back to the bus stop can be done in a little over 3 minutes. This, however, requires crossing the street without the use of a crosswalk. If one would like to stay on the crosswalks, it will most likely actually be faster to ride the eastbound bus to Racine and transfer there to the westbound. 2 bus stops exist to serve the Illinois Medical District itself. There's one at Harrison and Paulina for westbound buses, and one at Harrison and Ashland for eastbound buses. Both of these stops are relatively close to the Paulina entrance to Illinois Medical District Station. Passengers traveling towards Forest Park can enter the station here and board their train as usual, while passengers traveling towards O'Hare can walk to Harrison and Ashland to board a shuttle bus. However, this walk takes over 5 minutes, so my guess is that it would actually be faster for some passengers to simply walk to the Ogden entrance and board a shuttle there. There are 2 additional shuttle bus stops in the loop. Westbound buses stop here at Adams and Clark, while eastbound buses stop at Jackson and Financial Place. These stops are intended for passengers who begin their trips in the loop and might walk to Blue Line stations such as LaSalle. It prevents them from unnecessarily transferring to a bus by allowing them to board the bus directly in the loop. And that's about all there is to say about Part A of Phase 1 of the Forest Park Branch reconstruction. Part A is scheduled to conclude in late August, so by the time this video comes out, it will probably actually be relatively soon, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, perhaps even in a few days. This will be followed by Part B, which will only be on a subset of the currently affected section of the line. This is expected to last until October. As of the time of writing this, the CTA has not yet announced plans for future phases of the project. This is purely speculation on my part, but I can't help but notice that the part of the line that has been rehabbed so far starts at the east end of the branch and will run just far west enough for trains to be able to reach the Loomis ramp, which connects onto the Pink Line. My guess is that future phases of the project will involve rerouting Blue Line trains onto the Pink Line while the entirety of the branch to the west of Loomis is reconstructed, much the same way as was done with the Dan Ryan branch back in 2013. But time will tell us, and for now, I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on in the future of this project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.